First, they took away the income-driven repayment plans, and now they're requiring everybody to pay back all of their student loans. And the Federal Reserve is coming after people, but that's going to hurt the medical industry the most. It is a perfect storm. It is all set up in a way that definitely will affect the medical field more than any other industry, because to be in the medical field, many people have to go through intense schooling, and a lot of that intense schooling is both expensive and time-consuming. It's time-consuming, so a lot of people cannot work at the same time that they're going to school. If they can, it's a job that they're holding before they have their degree, which probably doesn't pay as much. Second of all, schools are expensive. And because the schools are expensive, people expect to make a lot more money with the job that they have once they have their degree. But they don't have that money right now, or while they're going to school, or before they go to school. That's why they're going into the field. But that's also why they have to take out student loans to be able to afford the education. And they think, well, I'll be able to pay it back. The problem with that is that the schools are getting a lot more expensive. The price is going up. Everybody knows that. Everybody's been able to see that college tuition rates have been increasing a lot, especially within the last 10 years. But guess what hasn't been increasing a lot? Not nearly as much. The pay that you get for being in those medical field positions once you have the degree that is required. So now we have a situation where degrees to get into these medical field positions are very expensive. And then the pay is not going up as fast as the expense of the degree. Well, when people don't make as much money as they need to pay back that degree, that is the whole reason why income-driven repayment plans were invented. Income-driven repayment plans ensure that you're only paying as much as you are able to pay for those student loans. Yes, they're going to take a lot longer to pay off, but they say it's okay because you physically can only pay this amount based on the income you're making, even though your degree was this expensive. And lo and behold, once you take away the income-driven repayment plans, you find out that the people who make money don't make enough money to pay back the degrees for the job that they got so that they would be making more money, and it's still not enough money. Not enough to live with the rising cost of living and the rising cost of groceries and eggs, and pay back these expensive student loans that keep getting more expensive. All of these factors keep increasing, but the pay that these people are getting paid in the medical field is not increasing at the same rate. Some of the biggest loans out of any type of school are medical schools. Even in the medical field that aren't even doctors, people who are nurses, NPs, medical assistants, technologists, lab techs, all of these fields keep increasing the price of tuition. And the compensation that they're getting just isn't matching. The whole US healthcare system is structured on profit. And in order to make the most profit, you increase the price of your goods and you decrease your expenses. If expenses includes the pay of the employees that work in the system, you want to keep that as low as possible. There's a lot of people that can only afford to pay back their loans based on these income-driven repayment plans. And the income-driven repayment plans only exist because people aren't getting paid enough to pay back their loans. So now we have a whole medical system built around these workers that aren't getting paid enough to pay back their loans and live. So what happens to them? What happens to people that default on their loans? What happens to nurses that are no longer getting paid because their wages are being garnished to pay back their loans? Doesn't it just lead to more people in the medical field going bankrupt? But at this time, it's not bankruptcy because of medical bills. It's going bankrupt because of medical school, even though you're working. Medical schools and medical field degrees have some of the highest costs, and that means some of the highest loans, and that means some of the most debt that is the hardest to pay off. Sometimes it can take years, literally, even while you're working. The work that we're doing isn't becoming less valuable. We're just not getting compensated at the same rate that we're being charged to get into this field in the first place. So really what we have is this squeeze, and it's going to strain the medical field the most.
There's no way that you're upset that you have to pay a loan back that you signed up for. Nobody held your hand and forced you to sign on the dotted line after you agreed to the terms and conditions. You're mad because you believed the liars from the last administration that we're going to forgive you of those loans. That's why you're mad. They promise. We're going to get rid of them. We're going to forget. Bitch, you're the one who signed up for them. You went to the bank or the institution or whatever and said, I need this loan. I'm going to sign my life away for it. You probably didn't read the fine print. And you've had, like, it was frozen in 2020. You've had 5 fucking years to think about this. Don't give me the, we only have 2 weeks to get our life together. You've had 5 fucking years. If you make poor decisions like that, you might as well just sign up for a little OF and start selling the photos, bitch, because that's real life. Be an adult, pull your little panties up and get to work.
I would like the federal government and the Trump administration to know personally that my student loans will never be paid now. I'm not going to pay them. If this is what the federal government is doing, I'm not going to pay them. Okay? You can give me every single punishment. You can ruin my credit score. You're going to try to make me a slave in about 2 weeks. So I'm not paying it. I'm not.
I already wasn't planning on paying the student loans. I'm going to just give it to you straight right here. I was never planning on giving it back from the moment that I signed up for it. I'm triple not paying it now. I'm triple not paying it now. Are y'all fucking crazy? Mind you, I'm not even supposed to be on this app. I quit this app, but I'm back now because shit has gotten out of hand. You're taking money out of people's checks to fund a schminicide? A schminicide? And you want me to take money from my own life, from thine own life, to fund a schminicide? When we got homeless people in tent cities, think of the darkness and depravity of that phrase. Cities of tents. And you want to send the tent city money over to the funding the schminicide? Kiss my ass. I'm not fucking doing it, okay? We could, I did the numbers. We could solve some hunger. We could feed some babies over here. We could have some social services. I look like a single mom who works too hard. But anyway, yeah, we could do all kinds of shit. Free wigs, free nails, free daycare, all of that. But y'all want to send our money over there to fund dropping schmoms on people. Y'all can eat my dick. I was never paying it, but I'm double not paying it now. I might try to figure out how to rob y'all. Kiss my ass.
I just got a letter in the mail about my student loan situation, and if you don't pay loans, congratulations, genuinely. If you pay loans, you understand. I'm gonna show you how messed up the student loan system is. Okay, so total amount paid so far, $53,227. I owe a lot for my school loans. Principal paid, if you're not aware, that's the actual, that's money going towards the actual loan. Total interest paid, $23,000. So of the amount that I've actually paid off, almost half of that is just the interest.
Lord, they done got me. They done got my ass 200 points. 200 points. I didn't even get the degree. The school closed down mid-attending. They emailed me in the school email and told me that they were filing bankruptcy. So now I gotta pay back who? For what? What am I paying back? To who? What wages you gonna garnish? You gonna take my Amazon Flex money? But you gonna come to Amazon? Shit. Good luck. You could deliver them boxes too. Shit. Save my gas. Shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm about to do. You could have that credit score. Shit ain't never worked for me. Shit, what house I'm gonna buy? And pay for it with what?
I
pay $4,382 to my federal student loans each month. Yes, you heard that right. $4,382 each month. Today, in part 2 of my series of videos on student loans, I'm going to tell you why I decided to walk away from public service loan forgiveness, so buckle up. For those who are new here, hi, I'm Dr. Esther Trujillo, and I post about Latinos in the US on TikTok. Occasionally, I also post about why going through academia is financially violent for low-income and first-generation students, and I talk about why student loans are killing our joy and our opportunities. I graduated with $110,000 of student loan debt, and because the federal government believes in daily compounding interest and dark magic, that figure ballooned to $120,000 during the COVID freeze. Now, between 2017 and 2020, I paid $6,332 toward my loans while on an income-driven plan and under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Every dollar that I paid during that time went to interest. None of it went to principal. I was on track. I was doing everything right. But in 2022, I decided to leave my public sector job. The reason? Well, my then fiance, now husband, made me a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet changed my life. I mean, talk about romance. This man did a full-scale economic modeling for our future life over dinner. I don't know if that's not romantic. I don't know what is. But basically, I told him, I can't marry you because my income's going to go up too high. We have to file jointly, do the immigration stuff. And if we do that, my payment's going to balloon, so I can't marry you. And he was like, bet, let me make you a spreadsheet. Needless to say, he had me from there. So it turns out that if I stayed in the public sector, I would end up paying $68,000 total. And that's if I stayed on an income-driven plan and tried to make those 120 qualifying payments for PSLF. But that meant that I would have to stay in a low-paying job for the next 5 to 6 years. Professor salaries, I don't know if you guys know, but professor salaries ain't shit. I mean, it's really a sad situation. The highest paid incoming professors that I've known of make about $100K and they're in the UC system. Ivies make about the same, maybe a little less, maybe $80,000, $87,000 a year. And it's not a lot of money and it jumps very small increments each year. Even when people get tenure, that figure only goes up about 10K, which is really sad. So we modeled it. If I jumped to a private sector job where I made at least $90,000, I could throw $5,000 a month at the problem and kill my loan within 3 years. I would be on a path towards salary growth, potential bonuses, investing for my retirement, and to be honest, just hope. So I made the pivot. Now I work in the private sector. I'm on track to be completely free of this student loan by this time next year. Y'all, my balance is under 50,000 right now. I can smell the freedom. I can see the finish line. So why did I decide to let go of PSLF and the public sector life? Well, there are a couple reasons. I was noticing a couple things. First, I noticed that a lot of my friends who made those 120 payments were being disqualified from PSLF for technicalities. Things like missing paperwork, servicer mistakes, and other issues like not consolidating before starting that payment plan. Next, what I noticed was that a lot of people were staying in terrible jobs just for, to be able to qualify for PSLF. Now, for me, pay was the problem. My job actually wasn't that bad when I compare it to what other people I've known have gone through in professor jobs. Professor jobs have a lot of prestige, but they don't have a lot of pay and they don't have a lot of respect within academia itself. I mean, think of any academic, the egos are out of control, so you can imagine what those faculty meetings are like. The third thing that I noticed was that the opportunity cost of not moving to the private sector was too high for me. My skill set is super valuable, and I could see that, my husband could see that, and other people could too. So yes, I will pay the full amount of my principal loan and all the interest. That is $133,717.32 when all is said and done. But I'll be free. I'm gonna be free, bitch, and I'm gonna be free fast. I'm going to be free. I'm going to be making more. I'm going to be building generational wealth. And there's not a single employee from FedLoan that's going to get my money. Well, not for any longer. And to be clear, I think PSLF is a great tool. Teachers, public health workers, public servants, they are the backbone of our society. That just wasn't my path anymore. So stay tuned for my next couple videos about student loans, federal student loans. This isn't just a choices problem, it's a structural problem.